I'm Holly Constant.
And I'm Maddie Hockaday. We really love Parks and Rec, and we really love behind-the-scenes details.
So we're researching everything from DVD extras like deleted scenes and commentaries,
plus interviewing cast and crew who actually worked on the show.
We also bring on guests and friends to geek out about everything parks.
So join us, you tropical fish.
This is literally the best Parks and Rec rewatch podcast.
We're your park pals.
There's a park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, lovely. Oh my gosh. Well, everybody, welcome back. Oh my gosh, it's been a minute. There's been a lot going on. I moved. There's been traveling. There's been a lot of stuff. So we're glad to be back. And yeah, it's kind of wild. I was like setting up my mic and I was like, oh my God. Like,
it's been a bit.
I have to be reminded how to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
anyhow,
real.
Yes. Okay. So season 6, episode 1, London, part 1, episode air date, which is something new that I'm going to start talking about because I think it's really interesting of a time capsule moment to say when it aired. It was September 13th, 2013, which to put that in context, that was my junior year of college.
Yeah.
And I just don't remember
Wow.
watching it or being as involved in it as I eventually got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think this is probably the season I started watching like religiously when it was coming out.
Yeah.
And definitely season 7. I definitely remember it was the year, was it the year we lived together that season 7 came out? And so I just like, I was watching those religiously live.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I remember
that's crazy.
The Office I watched religiously
Mhm.
in college. But first, I even got like an antenna at Radio Shack so that I could like watch it when it was on. I remember
love
that.
it.
Because Netflix was not a thing during that
No?
time. Or I mean, it was, but it was like the DVDs were sent
Yeah.
to you. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
wasn't streaming.
Yeah, I think we were getting very close to Netflix being a thing. Like,
Yeah,
I think
100%.
like maybe 2013, probably 2014, 2015 is when it
Right.
really
And
launched.
you know, now that I'm saying that, I do feel like I remember. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe Netflix was actually a thing. I think streaming was a thing because I remember watching it in high school sometimes. No, it was a thing. It was a thing. I misspoke. I remember that. It's just that The Office wasn't like an original Netflix. You know what I mean? So it's not like I could watch it the next day. And I don't remember Hulu being as prominent. It was, but it wasn't as prominent like every single show. So you did have to watch it on network TV if you wanted to like keep up with it. But I do remember, yeah, Netflix, the streaming was available. I forgot about that. It wasn't as big as it is now. That's for damn sure.
Oh, damn. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, so they've moved to a new time slot. In 2013, they moved to 8 o'clock on Thursdays, which was a big deal then. Thursdays is a really good day for network TV. So that's really amazing. This was written by Mike Schur and directed by Dean Holland. So incredible dream team
Great.
here. If you're new here, Mike Schur obviously created the show. Hopefully you know that. But if not, there you go. And then Dean Holland is obviously the backbone of so much editing and directing. He worked on The Office and was such a huge part of the cuts and the mockumentary style shows, which is amazing. And then side note, honorable mention that this year is the year that Brooklyn Nine-Nine came out.
Yay. So Mike sure was busy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they were advertising Brooklyn Nine-Nine on the DVD extras for Parks as I watched it, which was a fun time
That is
machine
super
moment,
fun.
but
Yeah.
yeah, and that's kind of when Dan Gore is like the head person over there. But so many producers were, working on Parks and Brooklyn Nine-Nine at the same time. But I think a lot of them like stepped back from Parks and did Brooklyn Nine-Nine and then probably came back and forth. But yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that is super fun. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and every time I go back and
know.
like watch episodes, I'm like, oh, I forget how good this is.
Right. I know. I need to watch it fully. I never got as obsessed with it as The Office and Parks, but it is funny, and I always love Andy Samberg. So
Yeah, you gotta love Andy Samberg. I quote.
and the girl that's go ahead.
I was just gonna say I quote Andy Samberg from that show quite a bit with his cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And the gal that is now like in so many things, oh my gosh, the Hispanic lady, what's her name?
Oh,
I don't know her name.
it could either be Rosa or Amy who you're talking about. Is it like the hard ass
one? The one that was in, yeah.
Yeah. Stephanie Beatriz, I think is her name.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And she's been in so many things now, which is incredible. She was the voice of the one Lin-Manuel Miranda movie. What's it called? I can't remember, but very colorful moment.
Yeah. She was in The Heights, I think.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah. She's so funny because I feel like she's such a strong character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like you feel who she is like the second she's on the screen. But you don't realize how good of an actress she is until she talks in her real voice.
Yeah, because she's so sweet and
yeah.
I feel.
Oh my gosh, she's great.
Yeah, I love watching her on Modern Family too. As Gloria's sister, it's really fun to see her, and then she steals Manny and all these other things. Anyway, season 6 fun fact for Parks: on July 31st, 2013, it was reported by BuzzFeed that Rob Lowe and Rashida Jones would be leaving the series around the middle of the season. So I didn't know that we knew that they were leaving before season 6 even started.
No, I didn't either.
So I think that's really interesting. I'm sure many people maybe weren't paying attention, so they probably weren't super aware, but it was announced, so you could have found out if you were paying attention. And then their final episode was episode 13, so we have 13 episodes to get through before they leave. And also, due to their departure, longtime regulars Jim O'Hare and Retta were then added to the opening sequence, which is what we've been waiting for, I think, since season 1.
Since season 1.
Literally. We were like, what are they not doing on this opening sequence?
Yeah. At least season 2, right? Season 1 was 6 episodes. We were like, okay, maybe they won't come back, whatever. But like, come on, guys.
And I'm curious. Right. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm curious, is that a producer thing or something, or a network thing where they can only have a certain amount of people on the opening sequence? I don't feel like that's true. But if it is, then maybe that's why, because that would give me more justification. But they should have been on there a long time ago. So episode
Agreed.
14, after Chris and Ann leave, is the first time that Retta and Jim O'Hare are added to the sequence, which is really lovely. And then obviously Rashida Jones comes back in episode 17 when she has her, spoiler alert, baby. It's not really spoiler alert because she's pregnant at this point, but whatever. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you that sort of update. So anyway, I'm ready for a summary whenever you are.
Perfect. Okay. In an attempt to boost her approval ratings, Leslie heads to London to receive an award for women in government. Ben and Andy work to get money for their music charity from a fancy British man. Anne and Chris and Ron and Diane all take the next steps in their relationships, and Tom finally finds out who his arch nemesis is.
Oh my gosh. Jam-packed.
It's jam-packed. When I was like watching it, well, first of all, this is why I asked if we were doing part 2, because I was watching it again last night just to like get my head ready for this morning. And I was sitting there just taking it in rather than taking notes. And when it ended, I was like, no, this isn't the end of the episode. And so like so much more happens. Like no wonder they had to split it into 2. There's so much going on.
Yeah, so much. And that's when you asked me that, I was like, only part 1, because I feel like we have so much to get through just in the first part. And the whole like conference of being next part is a whole other breakdown.
It is.
But yes, I do want to mention too that there are there are a ton of webisodes for this episode, London specifically, and oh my gosh, if you have the DVD extras, you should watch it. Maybe they're on YouTube or something, but it was so funny. There's one where April is obsessed with Jack the Ripper, and if anyone was murdered where they were walking, they end up finding a spot that it was legend that he did, and so April poses and asks Ron to take a picture of her, like pretending to be killed, because she's like obsessed with murder, as we know, and death and all that.
So April.
Yes. And then there's one with Stonehenge where, I know that's in the next episode, but Andy says that Stonehenge was put there by aliens, and he keeps calling it Stonehenge, not Stonehenge, which I think is actually a kind of like a conspiracy moment that like aliens did it. But
yeah, I have heard that. Yeah.
It looks like he was, I mean, honestly, he could have been, but it could have been scripted too, where it looked like he was improvising the whole thing. And because he said, he listed off so many of the 7 wonders, like incorrectly, and he included the Death Star as one of the 7 wonders, which I thought was so funny.
That's amazing.
Yes, because I feel like, it was building on that whole fictional thing of Hogwarts being Buckingham Palace, or he thinks it is. So I thought that was really hilarious.
I have a note on that because, I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Andy.
And I know Andy is so funny in this one. We have a lot to talk about. I did want to catch up on some stuff though that about parks and / about our parks family. Amy Poehler has a new podcast called Good Hang, and it is phenomenal. I love it so much. Amy Poehler is so good. She has the best guests, and it really is just like a break in your day of like laughter and enjoyment and friendship, and it's really, really great. So I wanted to just plug that really fast.
I just listened to the Catherine Hahn one, and they do have a good little chat about Parks and Rec. So yeah, and she does the poncho in the recording.
Oh,
and
poncho, yes.
The fan in me was like, yes.
Yeah. Everybody that has been on Parks, that's been on the show, they have a brief moment where they talk about Parks, and it's so cool. Nice and so cute, and so many behind the scenes things. They talk about how they started this whole little side quest show, and it was just like Philly Justice, or just I think is what it's called. They posted it. She posted it on the Instagram, but it was so funny, and you guys have to watch it. Speaking of Catherine Hahn, though, I did watch the first episode. This is another thing I was going to just tell you briefly about our Parks family. I watched the first episode of Agatha All Along.
Yeah.
And I know I'm totally behind, but have you watched it?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's on Disney Plus, and Aubrey Plaza and Catherine Hahn are like in not every, but like most episodes together. And they have like a fight scene in the first episode, and watching them do that together and watching them act not as parks people and all these things. I mean, honestly, it's so lovely to see.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so cool. And Aubrey Plaza is amazing, and she gets to do like her witchy vibes, and it's so fun. And obviously Catherine Hahn is great in anything she does, but I can't wait to see where it goes.
Nice. Yeah, if once you get a couple more episodes in, let me know if it's a watchable. Not watchable, but like watch it,
Worth it.
Yeah.
And then I was just going to briefly mention Severance. Amazing. Severance is so good. And Adam Scott is incredible, and I really need you all to watch it. That's on Apple TV. And then I also wanted to talk about I kind of already did. We talked about the Board of Supervisors meeting that I went to here in my county because I moved, and it's like the town that I grew up in, and it's just really interesting because it's the equivalent of the town council that Leslie's on, and just learning about all the districts and who governs, because we don't have a town council. Our county is governed by a Board of Supervisors, where there are small little towns that have like a mayor and stuff and a town council, but that's not really like how our county is governed. I feel that's a little bit above, and each county has a district that has one representative or supervisor technically, and so it's just really fascinating to me how these small towns and how it trickles upward, you know what I mean? Or well, trickles upward is the wrong way to, but like, how it's indicative of how the government is run on a higher level, or how it used to be run when we had democracy, and how, when it wasn't a dictatorship. But anyhow, it's really interesting to see the small town.
Yeah. Very cool that you got to be like part of that and took time out of your life to go do that.
Yeah, it was really interesting. There was public hearing. People were definitely, I thought of Leslie because people were definitely like yelling. And she was like, people caring loudly at me, that whole thing.
Yeah.
That's how I felt it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I was going to say there was definitely like an uproar. I can't remember what it was, but they had removed some historical thing, and it absolutely reminded me of when Leslie wanted to remove the gazebo. And I was like, that is not fictional. Like, there are definite small things that people do not want to remove, and it's a big deal to remove those things, and people have a huge opinion about it.
Yeah. That's fair. And you think you go to Europe, and the amount of stuff that's been there for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And I kind of get where people are coming from, right? Like it's important to the town, and in 500 years, somebody could come visit that, and it has really cool historical significance.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, back to, thank you for listening to all of those things. Sorry it took so long. But yeah, now we are on London Part 1. And I just like gotta say, look how far we've come from season 1 to season 1, episode 1 to London. Are you kidding me? To London?
Yeah.
Pawnee is going to London. That is so far from where we've come, which is so lovely to see that trajectory.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Remember when
Love it.
Indianapolis felt like a trip?
Yeah, totally. Or Muncie.
Yeah. Yeah,
which
absolutely.
still is to Jerry.
Yeah, fair. I have to say, Holly, I love the beginning. I love the whole transition from the season 5 finale into the season 1 opener, because as an audience, we weren't actually really left on a cliffhanger, right? Because of Andy's reaction when Diane walks in, that we're all like, oh, she's the one that's pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when they start it and Andy's like, oh, you want to talk to me?
Right. It's so
just
funny.
It has that punch of like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That's not where I saw that was going. But without us being left like feeling alone without an answer. It was beautifully done.
Totally. Well, and picking right back up where we left off, that there was really no like preamble. There was no like 1 month later. There is in this,
in a minute,
like eventually, but it's nice that we just pick up right where we left off. Diane comes in and we're all like, oh my god, it's Diane. That lovely gif that everyone uses for Andy's face is on here. We're also wondering if Leslie will be recalled and what they're going to do about that. That was the main cliffhanger for me. I was like, wait, is Leslie not going to be in office anymore? And also like learning about Diane being pregnant is more so, you're right, it's not a cliffhanger. It's more so just like, what the fuck are we going to do kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, how is Ron going to handle this? You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so Diane does confirm that she's pregnant, and Ron has a funny line of how birth control usually doesn't work on Swansons.
Which I have a note here, like, how has he not gotten someone pregnant?
Great call. I don't know.
Because there's a lot of insinuation that he has a lot of sex. So
Right.
Just saying.
Right. So true. So Diane asks how he's feeling, like, what are you feeling in this moment? And he says that he wants to get married. It's so darling. And I love his build up to it. He built a canoe for proposing to her. That is so special.
And I think there's this validation to it, to each their own. But I think, putting myself in Diane's shoes, it's really special to know that it was already in his head. He wanted to propose. He already had a plan. It's not just because she's pregnant, right?
Yes.
Like, that's really sweet. And of course, he built a canoe.
Yeah. That's really true. That's really important too, that the audience doesn't feel kind of gypped of like, oh, now they have to get married. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's nice, because I feel like that's how I kind of feel with Anne and Chris, of like, we missed something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had a lot of conversation around this, and we will continue. Yeah, we will continue to have conversation around it for the next 13 episodes.
Correct. Oh my gosh. But also just like, look at how far Ron has come. He was able to shift with the mood. He didn't freak out, get angry, blame anyone. And he also used the word feelings and I was like, this is a big deal. And I love that growth. And it also shows that when you're with the right person, it's not like, kind of instinctually, which is really lovely. And I love his beautiful ring box. I don't think he ever made Tammy a ring box. Are you freaking kidding me?
No. Diane is a different level of woman.
Yeah.
Diane deserves a handcrafted canoe and handcrafted, not to say that Tammy, but their relationship wasn't what Diane and Ron's is.
Right. It's not.
So.
It wasn't. It was not a commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a healthy commitment, I should say.
Correct. Yeah. Not healthy.
So it's lovely. Yeah. And I love this nonchalant vibe that both of them had, and that they agreed on this, where Diane says, like, on one condition, I'll marry you if it can be something small. We've both been married. I don't want to do anything insane. And Ron, like, casually just says, for all I care, we can go up to the 4th floor. And then I love the glint in both of their eyes when they're like, that's what we should do.
This unspoken, like, agreement. And Ron, like, the way Nick Offerman, his facial expression is so great. I love it.
His cute little grin. It's so precious.
Yeah, he does a
Oh my
great job.
gosh.
He gives us little glints into like a childlike version of Ron occasionally,
Yes.
like when he has his
Yeah.
little giggle and when he's
Mhm.
drunk on snake juice, and he does it so tactfully. It's so great.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Leslie and April are coming back from cleaning the river, which I love that they keep up with that. And because that was a while back that they started that. You know, that was literally the beginning of season 5, a full season ago that she went to Washington and they didn't approve her budget. And so she was like, I'm going to hold office hours here and I'm going to do it anyway. And so I love that they've kept up with that. It's really wonderful. A lot of times
And
we forget
April's
about
helping.
what they did. And April's helping. It's great. And then
Love
Ron
it.
says it so frankly, matter-of-factly of like, and casually kind of like, okay, we're just going to the 4th floor, getting married, bye. And Leslie's like, huh? I love Amy Poehler. I'm so obsessed with her.
I know the way she like, it's normal to her for like 5 seconds, if that,
Right.
and then it computes, and she,
She's like, okay. Yes.
yeah,
She's paralyzed by her thoughts and feelings, which I love.
yeah,
Love that April can be the best man. That's darling.
yes,
Love
and
it.
and appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Their relationship has always
Leslie-
been nice.
I know. The work proximity associate.
Yes.
Love it. Leslie obviously wants to plan this. Like, she's dreamed of this. She wants to get a bouncy castle, balloons, something like out of this world. Like, she wants to plan basically what happened for her wedding. She would love to do for Ron. Obviously she did this, but I do feel like she did the birthday thing for him that was so specific to him. But I do feel like this is the thing that's specific to him, which was really nice that that's how she kind of justified it too. Once they got up there, like getting the highlighter bouquet, ripping the paper for rice, all that kind of stuff. Her cutoff speech,
So
all that
creative.
stuff. Oh my gosh, so creative. I love that. And then Ethel Beavers is there.
And she doesn't
We
care.
love Ethel.
And I love it.
I know. She's like, don't care. Whatever. Oh my gosh. And Ethel, I mean, we have to pour one out because Ethel is no longer with us and I love her so much. She's so good. Oh my God.
Yeah. A staple, reoccurring piece of Pawnee.
Absolutely. She's so many people's favorite returning character. It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the adopted grandmother of April and Andy. And then, oh my gosh, it's so darling that Diane says, Leslie Knope, would you be my matron of honor? Oh my God. Leslie's voice as she gets all like throaty and emotional. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't imagine if I was Leslie being asked to be the matron of honor. That is so special and such an honor. And even though it's quick, I mean, it's still so beautiful.
Tammy is not the kind. Tammy. Oh gosh, it's because I just read my note about Diane Tammy Lewis.
Right. I know.
But Diane is not like the kind of person who would just ask Leslie to be nice. Like, so she actually
feel that too.
feels some sort of connection to Leslie.
Yeah, and I think that is a really good tie. Obviously, maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but that's a really good tie back to the woodworking awards when Leslie stepped in when Tammy was trying to take over Diane and Ron's relationship, and how they've come far too. Diane and Leslie have come far too because Diane was threatened a little bit by her, and so I think it's really nice that now they all realize that like Ron and Diane are meant to be together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And Leslie is just the support wingman, wing woman.
Yeah.
Yes. So Carl is there as the Justice of Peace guy, and he also married Ron and Tammy too. His name is Craig Perriman. We actually talked to him in his last episode with the Ron and Tammy thing, which was season 3, episode 5, if you can believe it. That was a long time ago. I can't even believe it. Like, as an actor, I feel like to be called back to after 2 seasons would be like such a dream, such a like, oh my gosh, you thought of me again? That's so cool. you know?
Yeah, very cool.
So I'll
man.
post that in the show notes if you guys want to listen to what he had to say. He also sent some really cool photos of the set, which I posted a while back, but I'll post them again. I love seeing City Hall with like the set lights up above. He took a picture of that, and it's really cool where you can see. I love that. Some people don't like when you like take away the magic of a set. I think that's what makes it magical, is seeing the nuts and bolts and seeing that this is like the logic behind it, you know what I mean? And then on camera, it just poof, it's real, you know? So that's
well, and you never
my
would have
personal
guessed
preference.
that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just do such a good job that it feels real when it's on TV, and then you're like, that's what it actually looks like.
Right. So cool. Let's see. Oh yeah. Back to your note. I love Diane so much for teasing and saying that her middle name was Tammy.
I love that she goes Tammy and not Tamra. Like somebody would actually give her the middle name, like a nickname for a middle name.
Right. Yeah, totally. That's funny.
I love it. Yeah.
What was her middle name? Oh my gosh, I didn't even write it down.
Elizabeth.
Just kidding. Okay, cute.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leslie's commentary whilst this is happening too is so cute. Like, oh my god, it's happening. I feel like that's very me.
Yes, that is. I definitely see you in this scene of Leslie. I wrote down that it's like, and I said she's like a toddler, or a young kid meeting all her favorite characters at Disney.
Yeah,
that is
totally.
like the vibe I get.
Yes, very excitable. Love that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, can't contain.
So filled with love. Yes, can't contain. And yeah, she has such a wonderful little Leslie speech, and even Ron's little compliment of like when he cuts her off, like I could tell that was going to be beautiful. Even that was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if Ron would have said that a while ago. So I just love that and also he's in this environment where he's really happy, so he's going to compliment her. You know what I mean? Like where he feels comfortable to do that. So I love it all.
Yeah, it's really well done, and I have a note too, like the pacing, right? Everything moves really quickly, but if you look at everything we just covered that they did in that amount of time, it's so well done.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's a great start to the season. I feel like they've recorded this or filmed this before they took their hiatus.
Maybe.
Because Leslie's hair is still long. Or Amy's hair is still long.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just had that vibe that like they did it before they left, but I have no idea. I didn't find any notes on it.
That would be a good question. Who knows, really? And it was so short, so I guess they could have.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll like dye your hair or add in extensions to make it look like they filmed it. But I don't know. That is a good point because I'm sure, anything is possible with this crew.
That's real.
But yeah, this was so beautiful and so perfect for them. And yeah, I love, to your point, I love that they showed this, like the pacing, and I love that they showed that it happened because they could have so easily done like, yeah, we got married and then not shown us or not let the audience in, you know, and then been like, okay, we're good. But I'm so glad that they let us into this moment. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay. So now, getting back to your note again of 1 month later, Leslie has cut her hair. I like her with short hair. Her bob looks so cute.
Yeah, she can pull off, like, I cannot pull that off. But, like, she looks great.
What do you mean? Have you tried to do it?
Yeah, I did it in 4th grade. I did Locks of Love. Ooh.
Oh my God, that doesn't count. 4th grade does not count.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Indicator of what your hair can handle.
That's fair. I don't know. I feel like I have the same.
I bet you could do it.
You know how some people like this, Ivan tells me this all the time. You know how somebody, you see their elementary school picture and you're like, okay, I see how you look the way you look now. I'm like, you look exactly the same, just older. Like, so I have the same like face shape. I have the same, like nothing's really changed about me except I've aged.
I feel the same way. I feel like my face is like the same. People tell me that. They say like, oh my God, you look exactly the same. I think I showed a picture in middle school. No, it was a baby picture. I think I posted a baby picture on or a toddler picture or whatever on Instagram, and someone was like, you look exactly the same. And I was like, okay. I don't know what that means, but I guess that's good. But anyhow, it does depend on your face shape. I feel like round faces, like you have more of like a diamond moment or whatever it is, like an oval kind of thing. Face shapes, I guess, do depend. Round faces can do a little better, I feel, with bobs. But I don't know. You should try it and see how you feel. And then if you hate it, you can get extensions and
and then grow it out. Yeah, I told Ivan, I said, I can't do anything drastic to my hair until after Connor gets married because I'm not looking back at any of those pictures and hating my life.
Fair. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, they are still trying to recall Leslie. It's totally ridiculous. Harris still has no idea what he's protesting. He's just saying legalize weed and following the crowds.
Cracks me up.
I love that. Oh, I paused on the crossword that she talks about, where she was a clue, and pornography is one of the answers. And
Yep.
I was like, what could have been that clue?
Great question. It's
Why
Pawnee.
is it
Who
in-
knows?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Also the clues, I read two other ones. There's one that says rhymes with nope. I'm sure it was nope, like Nope. And then the other one is nope fosters, like nope, probably like nope fosters hate or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Anyway, so that was funny, but also sad.
Yeah.
And then she has a 40 phase plan to not get recalled. They are currently in phase no problem too small. I also paused on her phase board of all the different phases, and there's just so many, so I didn't get to all of them. But a few of my favorites were stop, drop, and bowl. I love that. That's a great play on words.
BOWL.
Yes.
Nice. Bowling
Yes.
always comes
So they're
back.
going bowling again. Yep,
Great.
always comes back. She loves bowling. She's a great bowler. Ask her on. Dealer's choice is a phase, so I guess they're just letting the townspeople run that one. There's one that's called All Systems Go, one that's called Change the Game, one Take It to the Streets, one called Dog Prom, not Dong, Dog Prom.
Dong prom. Yoicks.
That would be funny too. But no, Dog Prom. That's fun. That's cute.
Yeah.
Take Back the Night, Return the Day is a phase. Plan to be spontaneous. I love that one. That's so me. Oh my gosh. People think that I'm like spontaneous because like I have like outgoing personality, but I like a plan. I can be spontaneous every now and again, but I like the plan.
Yep.
Oh, and then the last one that I read was reach out to Andy. Andy must have written that in.
Oh, that's funny. It's cute. She's moving fast
Yes.
too, because she's on phase 26. It's been a month.
Yes,
Like-
totally.
Yeah. So I don't know if she's like rolling out these phases and then living them.
Right. Yeah, maybe she that might be what it is,
Yeah.
huh? This sounds awful. I got to be honest. Like the initiative to fix all the petty and small complaints and fixing
Yeah.
it personally, like so exhausting, so terrible.
Well,
Which is
and
proven by these people that come in complaining about some of these are pretty damn petty and small.
Yeah. Well, and I just think like her time could be used on things that actually matter rather than the snail problem. So it's just, yeah, I don't know. That's my part of it is like, we've driven her to do to not be focused on what she can actually change and like make
Yeah.
the community better, which is sad.
Right. I know, because this is like her political move to, get the people to vote her back or to not want to recall her. And that's the sad part too, is that I feel like so many times it's a lose-lose situation. You just can't make everybody happy. You can't like make them vote for you in a different way, even though you tried all these hard things. So I think right
Yeah.
now it's like more of an experiment phase as well, of like, are these people going to vote for me if I do these small and petty things? So I guess we're trying it and see how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you. I love this lady. This lady comes back. She's a recurring character too. She was the one in the little donut table with Ron circling around. Her name is Sarah Van Horn. I still can't find her contact information,
Yeah.
so somebody help me if you can. But we love her.
Yes, she does a great job. And I love her line, her delivery of the line at the end of the next episode.
What's that?
I didn't want all the snails gone, just some of them.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So annoying. Oh my God.
Yeah.
She plays that.
She does a
character
great
very
job. Yes, she does.
well. Okay. So they show a montage and they show all the citizens, and they all had scenes, and I'm going to play them for you because it is amazing. They were on the deleted scenes in the DVD extras, so
Great.
they are worth hearing.
A Scrabble set in the community center is missing a G, and I couldn't spell grunt, and you owe me those points.
Well, runt is a word.
Stop looking on the bright side.
They preempted Everybody Loves Raymond for some stupid news story about an escaped murderer. I demand a refund.
The best I can do is we have a King of Queens DVD at the rec center.
No, Kevin James is no Raymond. Christmas is too close to New Year's.
I'm actually going to agree with you there. And if I could change it, I would.
My cargo pants have too many pockets. What am I supposed to put in all these pockets? Dirt? You want me to put dirt in my pockets? What's wrong with you?
Oh, people.
I know.
I love the
the
Christmas
smallest,
one.
pettiest. Yeah, the Christmas. That was Mel Cowan, our red-faced man that we talked to ages ago. Oh my gosh. Yes, he did a great job. And he definitely was shocked too when she agreed with him. He like did a double take and gasped like, "Oh, okay. I don't know what to do with you agreeing with me. Where does my anger go?"
I love that.
So the first guy, it was a little hard to hear, but the first guy, he had a Scrabble problem. Basically, the rec center had a Scrabble that didn't have the letters that he wanted or whatever. And anyway, he is played by Phil Miller, the actor, and his character name is Jerfus Lurpus.
Yes.
He's a Lurpus. He's in the Lurpus family. Oh my gosh.
Love it.
If you're new here, there's a Lurpus family. Oh, that's another thing that I was going to say really fast. Mike Schur is on Amy Poehler's podcast, and he talks about it's so good. You guys have to listen to that one. Awesome. It's really, truly so good. But he talks about all the character names. He doesn't mention the Lurpus technically, but he does talk about his kind of theory and, psychology as to why he does the character names. And he was so sweet. He was like, he said, and he was like, I'm really not trying to kiss ass, but I love actors so much. I love working with them. I love that they're creative. They bring the things to life so that we write. And so if you're going to an audition, you're driving 45 minutes to Santa Monica to audition for like a one-line thing, and you get there, you're only there for like a day. I don't want any actor to have to say actor number 1 on their IMDb or resume, or like girl number 2. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. So I want to give them a name because it's more, it gives you more clout on IMDb. Absolutely it does. If you're given a name, you're like, oh, who's Jerfus Lurpus? Instead of, townsperson number 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, Mike Schur, that is so beautiful and so nice and kind.
Yeah. That's so cool. Way to, like, who at his level thinks that way?
Yeah, wild.
Amazing.
Yeah,
very cool.
So anyhow, I'm not going to go into the Lurpus diatribe, but if you're new here, there's a Lurpus family in Pawnee, and it's really fun to watch out which Lurpus comes up next. So this was the next one in our story. So that's him. He's been in, again, this was played by Phil Miller. He's been in APU Bio, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, actually, a show called You're the Worst, a ton of different shows. So well done to him. The second lady, the Everybody Loves Raymond lady, is played by Heather McPhaul, and her character name is Riley Zumph, Zumph, which I love. I don't know how they come up with all these things. She's been in a ton of stuff as well. 4 episodes of Veep, 911, a John Mulaney special. There's a podcast that she was in called True Texas Crime. So many things, and a ton of other stuff too. I'm just doing the highlights that I saw on IMDb, but a lot of stuff. But she was really great and got me voice memos. She was lovely.
Nice.
I reached out to her agents and she was super fast about them. So, yes, the first question that I always ask everybody is how they got their job on Parks and Rec. So let's take a listen.
My name is Heather McPhaul, and I played Riley Zumph on the first episode of season 6 on Parks and Rec. I got my job rather last minute because they were filming in the next couple of days. So I think I was a last minute addition to the show. And I remember getting some sides, I think, but it was mostly improv that I went in to Dorian Frankel, who was the lovely casting director at that time on the show. And she and I just got to play for a few minutes. And she would ask Riley some questions, and I just got to improv and do it off the top of my head, which was perfect.
Oh my gosh, that's so wild.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we've heard that from many guest stars. I mean, we've heard that they've asked you to improvise after, but usually there really is like a script to stick to, and then you can play after. So that's what a cool and probably, I don't know, hard audition, I guess, but also super fun,
Very fun. Yeah. But yeah,
that.
You're right. Like, you're kind of going off of very little information, and you're not bouncing off of people the same way you would in the actual moment of the improv.
Yeah. So anyhow, so that's that one. And then, okay, the second one is about the day on set, what she, like, any stories she had, anything like that.
And the reason it was perfect to have done improv with Dorian Frankel during the audition is that when I got on set, that was what they had me do with Amy Poehler. And none of my lines appear on camera or on the show, but I remember the executive producer coming and saying, you know, just get really angry about something. And I understand you, Holly, are saying it was about the fact that they were taking Everybody Loves Raymond off the air, which I also appeared on, by the way. But I don't remember that note necessarily, but I do remember suddenly it animated me and my face. And I really was able to get into it with Amy's character, and just get livid about that fact. And when I saw the final cut, that in fact is what they used, was my facial expressions getting livid at this, and Amy just as the voiceover of me and the other citizens who come in and get angry about whatever their peeve is.
Yeah, I thought that, yes, that makes so much sense. And also, I mean, I'm glad that it was real and it did give her, like, you know, the pull, the motivation to get angry, no matter what the note may have been given or whatever, because that's really the point, is that people were mad at her and yelling at her, or in the first season, like she says, which I just talked about, the caring loudly at her vibes. So that probably really helped. But to just go in there and improv with Amy, like, what? Oh my God. I would be so nervous.
Same. Oh my gosh.
But she did a great job.
Yeah. Love that.
Okay, let's listen to the next one.
I do remember my call time was for the morning, not too early, not a crazy, 5 a.m. call, but it seemed like, since it was the first episode of season 6, the producers and Amy Poehler were getting ready for the upcoming episode. So that would have been episode 2 of this 2-parter that I was part of. And they had a table read, I believe, and there was kind of just waiting around in my dressing room for quite a while. And then they called lunch, and we were responsible for feeding ourselves, getting our own lunch at that time. And instead, I remember sneaking onto the stage and just getting a little craft service, snack for lunch. And I walked around the amazing set that they had built and took a lot of photographs, which I'll include with this because they're kind of cool. I mean, just all the artwork was terrific. And everybody else was off doing their own thing, so nobody cared. And that was kind of fun to just be a fan myself and a nerd and kind of geek out and take a lot of photographs. So that was very fun.
Yes, I love that. She sent us some pictures, so I'll have to post some. But and she did post a picture, or she sent a picture with her call sheet, which was so fun. I love when guest stars do that, when they send us the call sheet. And her call time was 7 a.m., so it was still really early. Yeah. It wasn't 5 a.m. I do understand that there are a lot of like 4 and 5 a.m. calls, but that was 7 a.m., so still early. But so she got some great pictures with the murals and really exciting stuff. So and some Ron Swanson things. So yeah, love that so much. Thank you for letting us know that information. The last one that I always ask our guest stars is what they have to promote, any social media, any shows coming up, any other things that we can, promote for them. And here's what she said to that.
Anyway, so finally everyone came back from lunch, and it was, I believe, late afternoon, and there were 3 of us Pawnee citizens that they had coming to Amy Poehler's desk and complaining about our various issues. And yes, I did get to meet Amy quickly, and even she was kind enough to take a photograph with me, which I've also included. So that was great. Let's see. I am a writer in addition to being an actress. You can find me on Instagram at Heather McPhaul Actor. And you can also read my novel, which is published on Amazon, called Raggedy Ann Hart, about growing up in a West Texas, very small, rather isolated farm and ranch in the 1970s. It's fiction, but there's a lot of truth in there too. So if that's your kind of thing, I would appreciate you giving it a read. Thank you.
Yay! I'll definitely post that in the show notes and tag her on Instagram and everything.
Very cool.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. I would definitely love to read that book. I love reading. Maybe it's at the library. I love a library moment. So I'll have to check it out. If not, I'll find it somewhere. If it's on Amazon, I'm sure it's also on Kindle or whatever the hell. But yay, thank you, Heather, so much for that information. That makes our show so much better to hear behind the scenes and to hear that you got to hang out with Amy and meet her. Of course, like talk to her outside of the filming, obviously, and the other people. So thank you so much, Heather. Love that.
Thank you.
Okay. So then we talked about this, but our friend Mel Cowan comes in. He is the red-faced man, which we love. And yes, like I said, we talked to him back in the early days of Parks. He still does improv in LA. You guys should check him out for sure. You should follow him on Instagram. I'll tag him too. Super fun. Okay, and then the cargo pants guy is Dave King. Oh my gosh, we love. He's a writer on the show, a comedian. He writes for a lot of other awesome shows. And he's actually partners with I don't know if they're married or engaged or what, but I talked about this before, but with the snow cone lady from the Putt Putt episode, who's also a comedian and writer and super awesome. They're together. They have a baby together. It's very precious.
Oh, nice.
Her name is Esther Povitsky, and she's a writer and a comedian as well, which I know I just said, but I just want to make sure that you guys know that she's a writer in her own right as well. And oh yeah, Dave King will also come back as the rabbi, if you guys are familiar, to Mary Craig, which was really funny. Who Craig hasn't come in yet, which is wild to think about that's coming soon.
Yeah.
We've also seen Dave King once at the pet adoption thing that April puts together, but that might have been a deleted scene, so I'm not quite sure if the audience has really seen him, but he makes a ton of cameos as well. Okay, moving on now to Chris and Anne. They're doing well. They got manicures together. She seems very smitten. This is the whole thing where she holds up her hand and says, it's misleading that we think that there's a ring, but really they just got manicures together.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
I have like a comment that I feel like when he walks up, there's like no chemistry. Like she's like, oh, he's here.
I know.
I don't know. I hate that. But when he's leaving, she has this smile towards him and that feels genuine and that feels like
it does.
She likes him. But yeah, that first initial when he walks up, I'm like, ugh, what's happening?
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I love the last part where she's smiling saying he's such a freak and it's so cute and precious. And yeah, I hear you though. I do. Yeah. I do. Okay. Okay, Tommy's closet is in full swing. The one that's trying to put Tom out of business, which is really sad and unfortunate. Tom is still trying to figure out who the hell is doing this. He still thinks it's someone like super famous.
Yeah, he's dreaming way too big. Like you have to remember you live in Pawnee, Indiana.
This is also where Hydrox and Oreo come in. We talked about this a long time ago when we were doing and we did a whole breakdown on the difference because they mentioned it many seasons ago, but I feel like this is the one when we talked about it many seasons ago. This is the scene in particular that I remember from Parks. So if you're new here, again, basically Oreo stole Hydrox's idea and made it better quote unquote, I guess. But basically, Oreo did not come up with the black and white sandwich cookie. Hydrox did. But their name was not good.
Yeah.
Hydrox sounds really weird.
It sounds like a cleaning supply.
Well, as a reminder, the people said when I Googled it the first time, hydrogen and oxygen, they combined those two chemicals into hydrox, and they're saying that like those are the things that are really good for you, and you really need to like, and that's what gives you life and energy is hydrogen and oxygen, and it's like super fun and like whatever science, and it just kind of fell flat. I think when you hear the explanation, you're like, oh, that's cool, I get that, but when you hear hydrox, you don't think of it really.
Yeah.
The common citizen doesn't think of it. But the other part of why Oreo succeeded more is also because they had way better marketing, way more money, aka capitalism. So that's a whole other thing too. But yeah, so what's his name? The guy that is playing this quote unquote famous person's lawyer for Tommy's Closet is saying that Tom is Hydrox and his client is Oreo. So kind of cool.
Yeah.
And by cool, I just mean like a cool history lesson.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not, I love that. It's not Jason Statham and it's not LeBron James. So we've ruled them out.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're all meeting in Leslie's office, and Leslie is saying the no problem too small isn't working. And there's been no press coverage, no change in polling. Ben is like, we need something bigger. And April, oh my God,
to the rescue.
Thought outside the box because of the phase, think outside the box. I love Ben's like little moment of like easily a top 5 phase. It's so casual.
Yeah.
I love it. So swagger.
He's so into this. Yeah.
Yes. But she submitted Leslie for the Women's Award in London, the International Coalition of Women in Government, and she got it. And I did look it up, side note, this, like whether this was a real award or not, and it is fictional. This is not a real award. However, there is an International Women of Courage Award and was established by the U.S. Department of State in 2007. So I don't know if they got their, inspiration from that or not, but it recognizes women around the globe, and I took this directly from their website. It recognizes women around the globe who have demonstrated exceptional courage, leadership, and advocacy for human rights, gender equality, and social progress, often at great personal risk, which I love.
Yeah, that's great.
So I'll post that as well. I'll post all the sites and citations. There's also a ton of women in government organizations in general, so which is very encouraging. So they could have just gotten inspiration from a lot of these other organizations.
Yeah. Very cool.
But, going back to the growth of all of our characters, I mean, this is so crazy for April to have submitted her for this and for Leslie to be recognized. And, we'll talk about it more in the next episode when we see what April actually wrote. But, if you're working in government, especially advocacy or anything that's really hard and anything that's, nonprofit potentially, or, I mean, it's just constant red tape. It's constant fighting. It's constant, arguments and debates on like, how can we make the world better, and why are you fighting against that, especially what we're seeing now. And so like you need that encouragement, and you need someone in your corner. You need to have like the community of people that support you, and for April to have been that for Leslie in this moment when Leslie has been her mentor and been that for her so long, it's so beautiful.
Yeah it's so great. I love that she takes it to heart when she's like, I just assumed you were lying. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, totally. Yeah, Chris says that, and it's like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, this is real. Yeah, so great.
I love that. I also love, that there are 5 winners, and that she's being recognized with a group of winners, which I love that they've split that up because that's a whole other thing for in the next episode. Yeah. This is where April says that Ann Richards and Janet Napolitano won it as well. Ann Richards is a former Texas governor, and Janet Napolitano was a Secretary of Homeland Security from 2009 to 2013. Just FYI, in case anyone didn't know. Previous offices, though, I just wanted to tell you Janet Napolitano's like track record. It looks really cool. She was actually the U.S. Attorney for Arizona from 93 to 98. Then she was the Arizona Attorney General from 99 to 2003. And then she was the governor of Arizona from 2003 to 2009. So Ivan was governed by her
Yeah.
at some point.
Very cool. Yeah.
And then after that, she was the United States Secretary of Homeland Security from 09 to 13. So that's amazing.
Very cool.
Anyways, yeah, and so the ceremony's next month in London, and I love that April is like keeping this kind of tongue-in-cheek moment of like, it's in London, like I did that.
Yeah.
How fun!
Yeah. I love that Leslie's like, we're going to London, you guys, like just assuming everyone's coming.
Right. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And this is when I remember in the last season, there were a couple of articles where I think Amy Poehler and Adam Scott were just like, oh my gosh, can you imagine the Parks nerds out in London just like dicking around? Or no, that was for DC. Sorry, that was for DC. So it reminded me of how they went to DC and they were, and so now they're in London. And I don't know. I love when a group is taken out of their context and you see how they react to different things. So it's really cool.
Yeah, agreed.
But anyhow, yes, I feel like people reference this next scene all the time where Andy thinks he's at Hogwarts instead of Buckingham Palace, and Ben is like, Hogwarts is fictional. You know that, right? It's important to me that you know that. He's so serious.
I love that line. It's important to me that you know that. The way it's delivered, too. So well done.
So good. And Andy doesn't take it seriously at all. He's just like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I really like Leslie's shirt here, by the way. That's random, but she had that like blue kind of like patterned rainbow looking kind of color shirt.
Yeah. I like when we get to see her outside of her typical wardrobe.
Yeah, me too. Ron is being stupid and saying he hates Europe, but he's taking pictures for Diane because Diane couldn't come because of having morning sickness. So there's that.
I would still go.
If you had morning sickness?
Yeah. Because, you might not have it once you get there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. Everybody's I've heard different. Some women, it's like they can't even get out of bed.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's tough. I don't know. Hopefully she can go when she is not pregnant.
Yeah. To each their own.
Actually enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Ben is going to a meeting, and I think it's really sweet and important that Pawnee feels really bad about, or she feels bad about leaving Pawnee. I think that's really great that she mentions that. She equates it with leaving her kid alone at home. And Ben is like, just try to enjoy this. You know, Pawnee's fine right now. It's, you're getting recognized. Like, just try to have a good time.
Do something for you.
But I think it's so vital. Yeah. It's so vital, though, that she is freaked out because it shows that even when she's not with Pawnee, she's thinking about Pawnee,
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know that she's ever been out of the country. This might be her first time out of the country.
Yeah.
Because she has been so into Pawnee and so community oriented the whole time. Going to DC was a big deal. So yeah, going out of the country, I mean, is a huge deal for Leslie, I think. And then especially to bring all your Parks team with you. Wild.
Yeah. I think the furthest we've seen her go was Hawaii for the honeymoon.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Now we're at Rent-A-Swag, and there's no one there. It's really sad. And so now Mona Lisa quits, and I'm like, couldn't she have quit a long time ago?
Yeah, for real. Like when you were dragging down the business.
Yeah, you should have been fired or quit ages ago. But okay. And then John Ralphio coming in, who's supposed to be Tom's friend, saying there's a better version of his store across the street and they're giving out food. I'm mad at John Ralphio, even though he's so funny. Yeah, I do love that. But I was like...
It's the line that Tom has at the end of this, I need better friends, is man, you do.
I have that note too.
Yeah, good catch there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and it's sad because you just don't, with how big we feel like we know Pawnee is, you don't need two of these stores. So one of them's gonna fail.
I know, and it sucks. His is better. Well, I mean, his is
it's
cooler,
his idea.
And I guess adding in food is something nice, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they have food all the time or if it's just an opening day, here's pepperoni pizza kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. Pepperoni.
Yes.
Oh, also, I made a note that at the beginning when he calls Tommy Pickle, I thought that was so funny. That's from Rugrats.
Yeah, it is. So cute.
I don't know that I've ever caught that, or maybe I did and I just never really like put analyzing into it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I don't know. I didn't catch it until this moment.
Also hilarious that little does John Ralphio know that it's his dad that's putting him out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom
That's
does
gonna
need
suck.
better friends.
Yeah, for real.
So now Andy and Ben are going to the meeting, and this is the joke that everybody loves, where he says that he got really fit just because he stopped drinking beer and he lost 50 pounds.
I love
beer were you
that.
drinking?
Yeah, probably too much. Probably, yeah. Yeah, I love that this is his explanation to getting to his Marvel body.
Right, totally. Yeah, so for those of you new here, he was doing Guardians of the Galaxy at the same time, so he had to get super fit. And also, don't you think his hair is dyed now too?
Yes, I have a note about that. I said
Because
his hair looks lighter in the front and a little bit longer and like curly.
Yeah, and kind of like it has like a reddish tint to it or something. Because I think in the previous times when I've watched this, I've always been like, yeah, he looks so different because he lost weight, but like I don't.
It's his hair.
I feel like there's something else. And this time it clicked where I was like, his hair is different too. I think it's because I watched it back to back from obviously. But yeah, they did his hair differently as well. So that's the part that I think his face looks different. I was like, oh, because dyeing your hair changes your complexion, everything. So that was interesting to me. But
very interesting.
But yeah, that's also
probably.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's probably something we can reference back. At least the rest of Andy's scene at the very beginning, at the opening scene, was filmed before because he doesn't look like that in when he's talking to like Diane and Ron.
Yeah.
So
anyhow, he looks very different, and like you said, it's very funny to me that that's how they justify when in reality, like so much work.
I do love that he doesn't get written out. Like he made the commitment of, I'm going to stay on the show. Like we've got to find a solution for me to be able to finish the movie, but like I want to stay on the show. I'm glad he did that.
They did say, did you see on IMDb? They did say that he some of the reason why they were in London was because they were filming Guardians in London as well.
I didn't see that.
I don't think that's all of the reason by far, like at any, but that and it wasn't like verified in an interview or anything, but somebody that was cited somewhere that I don't know. I'll have to look where that was cited, but that would make sense.
Yeah, so maybe that's how they got Ben and Andy there. It was like, oh well, Andy's going to be there, like, or Chris is going to be there filming, so now we can build a story for Ben to be there
and for Andy to stay, and not be as big of a part in Parks for the first part of this season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, so the reason that they're there, going off of that, is that Andy and Ben are meeting with a charity organization to expand the after-school music program, which is lovely, because Ben's still working for the Sweetums Foundation. And I love this next Ben line. It's so funny to me. His performance, like, of the Big Ben thing, like people in London or UK people love me, or British people love me, or whatever he said. Like there was a kid that used to punch me and say bong bong. Oh, he might have hated me. Those stories are so sad when you don't realize it until you're saying it that wasn't good. He was bullying him.
Oh, poor Ben.
Poor Ben. That sounds awful. That sounds so bad.
Yeah, I don't know how you could look at that as him not hating you.
Right. Oh my God. Poor Ben. But you know what? Look at Ben now. He's doing it and he's perfect.
Fine.
So. Andy wonders if he should do a British accent when he really does an Australian accent, which is hilarious to me. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like a mixture. It's like it doesn't know what it is and the down under does.
Right.
So, yeah. He's so good.
So they meet with Lord Covington, who is played by, I cannot pronounce his last name, I'm so sorry, Peter Serafinowicz. It's, very, it's, the end is WICZ, so it's one of those. But anyway, he was in the live action version of The Tick on Amazon Prime. Have you heard of this?
No.
I've never heard of it either. I don't know if it was just in London. Probably not, but it was on Amazon Prime, and it's like a superhero, but he's a tick, like the bug,
interesting.
the tick. He was also in Guardians of the Galaxy, by the way, which is why they had such a great rapport, because Pratt and him had already been filming, so that's cool. He played the voice of Darth Maul in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
I have heard that, I'm pretty sure. There's another thing he voice acted in, and
he's done a lot
I was
of
surprised by that too. Yeah, I think I was really surprised by his IMDb page.
Yeah, it's a lot. And he's also going to be in the new How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version of that. But he's been in a ton of stuff. Also, I don't know how I feel about a live action version of How to Train Your Dragon. I'm sure it's going to be so great, but the cartoon was so perfect, and I was just like, why do we need to remake this? I don't understand.
Well, and I think it's funny. This is in one of the voice memos I'm about to send you. That I talk about, like, are we waiting long enough between remakes? Like, I feel like doing Lion King, right? That came out when we were like babies. So I get doing a live action remake of Lion King. But like How to Train Your Dragon came out when I was in high school, maybe college. Like, it's within 15 years. So what are we doing?
Let's look it up. How to Train. Yeah, because I just watched 2010. So, yeah.
15 years.
End of high school for me. Like, but yeah.
Yeah. So, very interesting. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be whatever, dude.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I do understand, like, it is bringing it to different generations. That's what the whole argument has been for some people, but I'm just like, you guys, this is why, like, I don't know. I just don't know if it's really important to do, because nostalgia just like is such a moneymaker. That's it. That's really it. I'm sorry to say that, but it really is.
It is.
People are going to go to the theaters and, spend money, and that's what it's for. And they're not going to do like original stuff. They're going to be too scared. So whatever. But anyhow, it'll be great. Gerard Butler's coming back for it, so that's fun. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
Oh, you're good? Okay. Let's see. So I love that Leslie wants to do all the movie tours. Notting Hill, Love Actually, Bridget Jones. Oh my God. I wonder if there's a holiday bus tour, because that would be so fun.
Oh yeah. The holiday takes place like a little far out of London though, right?
It does. It does.
But still, it's so pretty where they
like
film
Surrey.
that.
Yeah. Oh my God. So beautiful.
Yeah.
A part of me, I don't know, I'm kind of mad at Ron for hating the UK. Me watching him, I was just like, it doesn't hit for me. I get it's funny and it's his character, but I'm just like, shut up. Then go home. What are you doing here?
Yeah, for real. I have a note. I said, Ron is why every other country hates us right now.
Literally, Maddie. That.
Yeah.
That part.
This is the best currency in the world. Sit down and shut up. It's not.
my God.
Oh my gosh, I got so mad.
Can I tell you, I had like a trigger warning for when my dad visited Greece. I was like, Ron is my dad, right? My dad is Ron right now. And I was like, no, you cannot behave this way in another country. That is not, no, absolutely not. I hate it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's so uncomfortable.
But I mean, classic. It is his character. I mean, I guess that part was right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And there are people 100% like that.
Yes, there are. There 100% are. And I'm just like, why'd you come, honey?
Yeah.
But I think he learns in the second part, he learns that Europe is not all bad, bitch. So, and in fact, we got a lot of the things we got because of Europe. So,
yeah.
But whatever. Anyhow, so let's see. Donna says, oh yes, this Donna moment is so good next. Donna says they can pull the business license for the business so that Tom can see who is operating Tommy's closet. And she's right. It is public information. Yeah. No one thinks to look it up, but it totally is. Always coming in hot with those good ideas, and always coming in hot with like making sure that everybody...
Think outside the box.
Yes, that. So it looks like it just had the address, not a name or anything. And Donna calls it like some sort of shady shell corporation. And I did look up that definition because I've heard that, and I know it sounds naive of me, but I wanted to actually like figure out what the actual definition of a shell corporation was. It's a legal business entity that exists primarily on paper with no or minimal business operations, assets, or employees, which honestly sounds like, a drug front.
Yeah.
But it's technically not illegal because they can be used for like both legit and illegitimate purposes, like including tax avoidance, like mergers, concealing your ownership. It's like having an LLC so that, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I believe Ghislaine Maxwell had a shell corporation.
Who's
And,
that?
Jeffrey Epstein's
Oh,
side
yeah.
chick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how they found a lot of stuff. That's how they hid a lot of stuff, I believe, if I'm remembering the documentary appropriately.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
So, but that's what Dr. Saperstein is doing. So the address is 1020 Maple Street, and Anne and Chris are there. And this poor nurse runs after Tom, saying, "You can't go in there." And he busts in as he finds them out, and like as if he found them out, essentially. Like, oh my God, it's you guys. And they're at the doctor's appointment for the baby. And I love Anne's reaction in contrast to Chris. Chris is like, "Oh, it's Tom." And Anne's like, "Can you get the fuck out of here?
Why are you
I'm
here?
in a doctor's office
Yeah.
for pregnant people, in a doctor's office for women." Like,
Because I'm pregnant.
right. And this is where we learn that Dr. Saperstein, their doctor, is the parent of Mona Lisa and John Ralphio. And we also see Henry Winkler is here.
Yay.
We love this.
I love him.
So many awesome things. I love him as an actor. I really do.
Yeah, he's great. I love him in New Girl when he's with he's Fred and Nancy. Remember he's the
I don't remember it enough.
so
it's okay.
Yeah, I'll send you a clip later. But yeah, he's so good in that.
Oh my God. That's the thing too. He's in so many random ass things that you're just like, oh my God. He'll make a random guest appearance and you're just like, oh my gosh, you're so good at everything.
Yeah.
I like him in the HBO show Barry that Bill Hader's in.
Yes.
He's so good.
So good. Love Barry.
Yeah. Okay, so side note, apparently his character was named after Dr. Saperstein. So not wait. Is that how you pronounce this one? Saperstein, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's just spelled a little different. So in the inspiration for it was in Rosemary's Baby, who was Dr. Saperstein was the OBGYN who helps trick Rosemary into giving birth to the devil's child. I need to watch Rosemary's Baby. I've heard it's so like famous, but I need to watch it. But I also don't love horror movies, so can't tell if I'd be into that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the inspiration for his name, which is hilarious.
That is, I did not know that. That's a great trivia piece.
Great little tip.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's the one putting Tom out of business. We finally learn, and it does suck. Yeah, he's the parent to his like one friend. I feel like that's a terrible friend. Like, what a betrayal.
Yeah.
And you don't really understand why. And then he goes into his reasoning, and I mean, I love that laughing moment because Dr. Saperstein thinks Tom stole Mona Lisa's virginity, like as if she is not out here on these streets with men.
I just love everybody is laughing.
I know, which she has perfect, she's allowed to do that. She's allowed to be with as many men as she wants. But the fact that Dr. Saperstein thinks she's like this perfect angelic virgin child is so funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Poor guy.
gosh. And he thinks that, he's the reason for John Ralphio's like incompetency and failure. And yeah, just sucks.
Yeah.
Can I also say it kind of sucks that Aziz didn't get to go to London?
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, but technically, he's not working as much in the parks, he's doing Tommy's thing,
Well, and I think it would be hard, especially with what he's going through right now, to like justify him being able to go to London for like a week while he's trying to run his business and keep his business alive.
Right. Afloat. Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
I will say, even I'm doing it. I feel like Tommy's Closet is so much of a better name than Rent-A-Swag.
It is.
I love Rent-A-Swag. I love that. It's just Tommy's Closet rolls off the tongue a little easier. It puts a name to it. It's like, sucks.
Yeah. That's okay.
And a friendly reminder that the writers did toss this name around when they were thinking of names for Rent-A-Swag, so they brought it back to use as the villainous version of Rent-A-Swag.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
I like that they did that.
Me too. The other part of Henry Winkler's performance that I really love is that he's being so mean and terrible, and then he gets all nice and cuddly about the heartbeat of the baby. He just immediately switches gears. It's so good.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I also love this moment because Chris is usually so accommodating and such a like go with the flow guy, And when Tom asks if he and Dr. Saperstein can have the room, he's like, "You most certainly may not." Like, I love
totally.
that he puts he's like, "No, like, this is not okay." And I'm proud of him for that.
Me too. I did want to say, I found online that apparently, and again, if there's any lawyers in the room, let me know. But apparently, while it is legal to copy like a general business idea, it's not technically legal to copy like more specific as far as like the store layout and like the actual idea itself. You know what I mean? And the name Tommy's Closet. Like Tom technically, they're saying, would be able to sue him for the theft of intellectual property.
Yeah, and then naming it after him, basically
using his name.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that was interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah.
All right, so back to this. Or did you have any other notes before we move on?
No.
Okay. Ben is being his normal self, being very professional, laying out their plans to this London fellow. Andy interrupts because he sees the remote helicopters, and it turns out this guy is really just the British version of Andy in a lot of ways, like a richer British Andy.
I love it.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I think.
Oh my god, it kind of reminds me of when they have what's his name, Bob Odenkirk, come in to be like the reflection of Michael Scott.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. There's something fun for me about like the representation of you can still have fun while doing business here. Because I think Ben kind of lives in this very like box of everything must go perfectly. And I think that's really like how corporate America typically functions most of the time. But like it's really good to have moments where it's like, I'm having fun doing my job, even if I'm flying remote helicopters.
Yeah, it's like two sides of the extreme though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're like too far into the fun.
Right. It's like we don't have a middle ground, but like we're trying to create the middle ground at the same time. Yeah. And it's really funny because you can see that Ben has now become the parent / like guardian, if you will, of these people in this situation. And like I love the performance of Adam Scott when he says, maybe you should we're guests. Maybe you should let him play with the blue helicopter. Like, what am I saying?
Yeah. Like, why am I having to say this out loud? No, he called it. I called it.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I don't love that this dude bought this for his nephew and then decided to keep them. That kind of sucks, but hopefully he bought it. I'm going to hopefully hope that he bought his nephew something else.
Yeah, that's the hope. Because you learn, like I'm learning having Killy and buying him things. I'm like, I want to play with this.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. Especially those like cooler things that could be used for an adult too, like helicopters. I feel like adults like do that. There are adult helicopters for sure. They're like more intense, but
yeah. Ivan will cry in happiness when he can play with remote control airplanes with Killian. So yeah.
Okay, so Ben tries to get back on track, and Andy thinks that they don't have ice cream in London or the UK at all, and and again, Ben being the adult is like,
they ask him.
Yeah, can we get some? Do you think we can? Yeah, exactly.
They also have really good ice cream over there. Most countries have gelato, which is chef's kiss.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. So Leslie's practicing her speech at the hotel. It's very precious. Leslie misses Pawnee, and which is, like we talked about before, very important to see. Like she didn't just forget about it, try to tuck it away, even though Ben said to enjoy herself. She's still thinking about them. Yeah. And so she's like, one news blast won't hurt. Leslie, you've learned your lesson.
I know. Can I also say, like, this makes me so sad listening to her speech because it's so genuine and pure and just so wonderful. And with us knowing what's going to come of it, like how it goes, it makes me so sad because it could have really fixed everything if she had stayed on track.
Right.
It's so sad to watch.
Or they would have at least seen like she cares more than you think she does. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Even though I can't understand how they're not seeing that now with everything she's done. So, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, you're right. Great point. So she turns on this news blast and she sees what's her name, Miss Pinewood from the Pawnee Restaurant Association talking to Perd, criticizing how she's not in Pawnee. And I love this. This is like I
love it too.
Great illustration of
so well done.
Your grandma, your mom being like, Facebook. How'd they get that picture? Facebook. But wait, weren't they Facebook? Yes, I love it so much.
It's real.
Yes, the polling that they did is so funny to me because this is totally how things happen, I feel, where people get confused on the question and they're like, I don't even know what you're saying. You know what I mean? And they did a poll for if they think that she should be in Europe. And a lot of people think that she shouldn't be in Europe. And it's just very sad. And Miss Pinewood, like, get out of here. Stop it.
Yeah.
What's it to ya? Anyway.
It's so frustrating. But
also, like, that's the thing, too. It's, like, so out of context because people think that she's just in Europe gallivanting around, as they say. But she's really there because she won something for the town, because she represents the town. Right. You know what I mean? It's not just vacation. I'm just going to, like, let go of this whole recall thing. It's, like, specifically because of a phase of her trying to save the town / like, save her viewership.
Yeah.
Anyway.
One-sided.
So next we have Tom confronting John Ralphio, and I really hate John Ralphio for this, but it definitely proves Tom's point of needing better friends. Also, I mean their performances were so great, but we already knew about the Mona Lisa thing, even though she goes further and says that she told her dad that Tom made her max out her credit cards, and John Ralphio told his dad that that Rent-A-Swag was his idea, was John Ralphio's idea, which is mind-boggling, considering that one episode where Tom was like, you're leaving the business now. You're done.
Yeah.
What? Crazy.
So bad.
But as much as I hate them, they're so good. It's probably not relevant. I don't think that's relevant. I don't think that matters.
Their acting is so good. And
I love that they're both in jean jackets.
Yeah.
Yes. Their chemistry and their wardrobes is like totally, they're on the same team. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tom is like, you have to tell him the truth. And then John Ralphio says, like, I'm going to have an honest conversation with my father. And you almost believe him. He says he'll do it, and it almost fools you, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's so frustrating.
Okay. Well, so now Andy is not saying the word aluminum right. And because they say, in Britain, they say aluminium. Mm-hmm. And Andy doesn't even know how to say it correctly, just in general. He says aluminum.
Which is
again,
great.
proving that he's like a toddler that can't pronounce words. Yeah. So Ben is like, look, I gotta go, bro. Like, my wife is receiving this award. What do you want from me? And Lord Covington admits that he really doesn't know what he's doing. And he's just a rich dude who has a lot of money, just trying to donate it. But he doesn't know what to pick, what to do, which is kind of the opposite of the Sweetums lady, which I love.
Yeah. And I love,
so that's kind of nice.
I love that we're saying too, like, this wasn't wasted time because he grew to see how genuine of a person Andy is. He immediately trusts, you're telling me this is a good thing because I spent the day with you. I know you as a person now. Like, I trust that you're telling me what's right. And so there's like the payoff of Andy being Andy.
Yeah, 100%. Totally. I had that note too of his language / friendship in this moment. Like, if I may, ours is great.
Yeah. Do ours.
And immediately Lord Covington is like, yeah, great. Done.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do it. But then this bomb is kind of dropped that Lord Covington wants to have someone to stay with him for 3 months. And Ben is like, yo, I can't do that. I have my wife. She's in the middle of a recall vote and I'm helping her, whatever. I also have a job. And then Lord Covington is actually wanting Andy to stay. Yeah. And I think, I don't know, if I was just watching this for the first time, I would have thought he meant Ben too.
Yeah.
So hearing that he wanted Andy, I was like, oh, what are we going to do here? And it's so funny too. I don't know if you clocked this, but I clocked that it's kind of, they probably didn't mean to, but it's kind of like a parallel. We started the episode with Andy gasping and having his like shocked face. And then we end with Andy gasping, having a shocked face. Both of them, like, you think he's going to say two different things. Yep. Like, you want to talk to me? And then at the end, like, he thinks he saw a goose or a plastic bag or something out the window.
So funny.
Oh my God.
No, that's a really good clock.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, like you said, it really is a good relationship between Andy and Lord Covington. It's super cute. And I will say, so in one of those, in the deleted scenes, I didn't record it, but in the deleted scenes, it's funny because I'm glad they at least recorded it. They don't show the audience, but there is a moment when Andy and Lord Covington, like, Ben is left there and Andy and Covington are together, and Andy is like, so what do I do? Like, what do you need me to do? What am I doing? In his classic Andy way. And Covington is just straight up, I don't know. But I really have no idea. And then he opens up a chamber, like a secret passageway in his bookcase.
Nice.
And Andy sees something else that is like, you know, a parallel to the helicopters, and they go play and do something else.
Of course.
But I think they end it with like, we're going to figure it out essentially. But it's like what? It's like, who's leading who here? What are we doing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But anyways, well, that's the end of my notes. Do you have anything for your notes?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, the last thing that I have, and I'm going to add this to the next episode. I feel really guilty. I had it highlighted in my notes, but I didn't actually look it up. The nurse that runs after Tom, I didn't look up her name. So I'm going to do that and do a whole full breakdown on, like when he goes into the doctor's office and she's like, you can't go in there. I'm going to look her up and do a whole breakdown on that. But if you have any other questions, let us know. And I'm very excited for the next episode to see how this all goes. All the guest stars coming in hot next episode as well, which is so crazy. Love that.
That's going to be awesome. It's a big one.
And I do hope that everyone's getting, I don't know how many people really actually listen to us. I mean, I know that there's downloads, but I don't know how many people are listening to this from start to finish. I know I think you have to pay for some of those stats, which is fine. But I don't want to do that yet.
Fair.
But I hope that everyone is getting through it because the world is on fire. And I just hope that we all can like lean on each other and speak out and speak about it with others. I think we're far past I don't want to get political. I don't want to talk about politics. We're just so far past that because everything is political. We used to not be able to talk about it or not be able to, like, we used to be able to agree to disagree kind of vibes, but everything is political. Like, I feel like it's in Pirates of the Caribbean when that captain is like, you best start believing in ghost stories. Like, you're in one, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're past the point of we just see
return.
things differently. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I just hope that we can hopefully bring you some light and things and we can laugh with Parks and Rec and see a lot of these different, and that's the reason one of the reasons I'm saying that I feel is not only because we need to speak up and support people that can't speak out for themselves, but also because as we get closer to this, the end of this season, we are going to have a lot of parallels with what's happening currently and what's happening in Pawnee. And I just, you know, we're just going to talk about that. So if you need to skip forward or something, that's fine. But, you know, just a heads up.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
good thought process. If you can believe it, we have, after today, we have 32 episodes of the show left.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. Season 6, baby.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. If you've listened this far, please feel free to share, review, rate with all of your friends. Let's maybe in those 32 episodes, we can somehow let Amy Poehler know that we're doing this and she can send us good vibes. I would love to talk to her. That's like the whole point. Obviously, that would be so great. But if she just knew that we were
here
existing, that would be great too.
Yeah. We love that. We would love that.
Yes. Love it. Okay, well, thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
See you next time.
There's a Park and some pals, and there's also therapy too.